Popping off at the Department of Health and Human Trafficking Services. How absurd is this to a family? It is disturbingly murderous. This corporations is performing these clandestine operations on the population, but it's more like a Cerberus. Does it really gotta be so sorcerous? We can beat them, indeed we can defeat them and feed them they own femur or a lemur. And furtherance, you gotta be ready to get them and hit them with speed like a meteor and yeet them after you get done weakening over the weekend and depleting them. And then you gotta be going and bleeding them and greeting and leaving them leaking and deeding them and greeting them and heating them remedially. Have them receiving if they be seeking the deceiving and having them conceding their defeat like they were losing their feet. They must be on chorus seating. It's not even beyond believing that you could be having them grieving and heaving and cleaving them and grim reaping them and interweaving them and squeezing them for not giving you a bag of reasons. So it's open season, no season them for weaseling. They will be freezing and sneezing, no releasing them for not ceasing. They fleecing instead of decreasing them. But I'm elite, so I gotta be leaving them disbelieving like a heathen and screaming like a demon. No, they're creeding and thieving, which is displeasing, having them wheezing. But they will not be leaving this evening for taking my blood.
Y'all the wrong piece, this ain't pretend. Took our blood, our breath, our kin. Now we rise, we fight back from within.
Family ties, stronger than these games. Y'all gon' feel the wrath and the weight of this pain. They tore the place apart, calling it protocol. They ain't care about the tears, the screams, the police, and it's just policy. But they don't see the debris. Y'all woke the wrong beast, this ain't pretend. Took our blood, our breath, our kin. Now we rise, we fight back from within. Yeah. I'm smacking and whacking these traffickers with canisters. I am a ravager, bashing into a banister, going after their manager or handler, or maybe they are a bachelor, a matador, or some sort of traveler, or cancer like a chancellor, having them grasping at the vascular. Put you masochists in the atmosphere, no more human traffic, just scavengers, the dirty blasphemers, which will be spectacular, having them blowing up like capacitors, and then make them evacuate, castrate their classmates in collegiate for trying to conflate or accommodate. But this isn't Watergate, heaven's gate for heaven's sake. We're here to renovate, to relocate, alternate, altercate, and equal what you annotate. When we aggregate, whether you gotta go and agitate and aggregate, I will be happy you guess it, just aspirate until you evaporate. I will continue to emasculate until you gasp and collapse and exacerbate. Or I may gravitate to decapitate legal action and have you capitulate for failing to compensate as you contemplate and not to contemplate and consummate. I'm here to educate and elevate, they said it maybe until they asphyxiate and laminate what they cannot emulate and innovate them until they escalate. And I make an estimate, or excavate, or rescue, and excavate and infiltrate after they fabricate and fasciate and never fail to not fascinate. Y'all make it featherweight, but I federate and formulate while all they do is fornicate. They just seem to gravitate to the greatest state, but they may just herniate. But I never hesitate to emasculate the reprobates and then I hibernate while imitating, immigrating, immolating, imitating, imbricating, imbricating. The signals indicate that we need to intubate because you try to infiltrate, I innovate, inundate, insulate, innovate, insulate while they instigate. I disintegrate them mental reiterate. They will not be able to integrate when they try to re-integrate, reintegrate a state support enforcement. But where do I start when you stole my blood, breath, and kin?
Pretend. Took our blood, our breath, our kin. Now we rise, we fight back from within.
Yeah. Family ties, stronger than these games. Y'all gon' feel the wrath and the weight of this pain. They tore the place apart, calling it protocol. They ain't care about the tears, the screams, the police said it's just policy, but they don't see the debris.
This ain't pretend.
Yeah.
Took our blood, our breath, our kin. Now we rise, we fight back from within.
Yeah. Popping off at the Department of Health and Human Trafficking Services. How absurd is this to a family? It is disturbingly murderous. This corporation is performing these clandestine operations on the population, but it's more like a Cerberus. Does it really gotta be so sorcerous? We can beat them, indeed we can defeat them and feed them they own femur or a lemur. And furtherance, you gotta be ready to get them and hit them with speed like a meteor and yeet them after you get them weakening over the weekend and depleting them. And then you gotta be going and bleeding them, accreting and leaving them leaking and deeding them and greeting them and heating them remedially. Have them receiving if they be seeking the deceiving and having them conceding they defeat like they were losing their feet. They must be on chorus eating. It's not even beyond believing that you could be having and grieving and heaving and cleaving them and grieving and leaving them, reaping them and interweaving them and squeezing them for not giving you a bag of reason. So it's open season on season. For weaseling they will be freezing and sneezing, no releasing. For not ceasing they fleecing instead of decreasing. But I'm elite, so I gotta be leaving them disbelieving like a heathen and screaming like a demon or creeding and thieving, which is displeasing, having them wheezing. But they will not be leaving this evening for taking my blood, breath, and kin.
Y'all want the wrong beast, this ain't pretend. Took our blood, our breath, our kin. Now we rise, we fight back from within.
Family ties, stronger than these games. Y'all gon' feel the wrath and the weight of this pain. They tore the place apart, calling it protocol. They ain't care about the tears, the screams, the pleas. Said it's just policy, but they don't see no beat.
This ain't pretend. Took our blood, our breath, our kin. Now we rise, we fight back from within.
Yeah. smacking and whacking these traffickers with canisters. I am ravaged, bashing them into a banister, going after the manager or handler, or maybe they are a bachelor or matador, or some sort of traveler or cancer, like a chancellor, having them grasping at their breath. Put you masochists in the atmosphere, no more human trafficking scavengers, a dirty blasphemous, which will be spectacular, having them blowing up like capacitors and then make them evacuate, castrate their classmates and collate for trying to conflate or accommodate. But this isn't Watergate or Heaven's Gate. For heaven's sake, we're here to renovate, reallocate, intelligent, altercate, and equip what you annotate when we advocate. Why do you gonna go and agitate and aggregate? I will be having you gas to just aspirate until you evaporate. I will continue to emasculate until you gasp and collapse and exacerbate, or I may gravitate to decapitate your legal action and have you capitulate. The fact that comforts gasapated, consummated. I'm here to educate, never later, made until they asphyxiate. I emanate what they cannot emulate it. It's all made until they mutilated, they contemplated. I make an estimator, as they devastate and excavate and infiltrate after they fabricate and fascinate. You're better than I fascinate you. I may be a featherweight, but I federated, formulate. While all they do is fornicate, but you seem to gravitate to the greatest state. But they may just herniate, but I never hesitate to emasculate your reprobation. Then I hibernate, will imitate and immigrate and immolate and imitate and imprecate and imprecating. The signals indicate that we need to intubate it, cause you try to infiltrate, I innovate and inundate, intimidate, and they insulate while they instigate. I disintegrate them and then to reiterate it, and I'll be integrated when they try to re-enter the interest rate of Venice to support enforcement. But where do I start when you stole my blood, breath, and kin?